Hi, Sarah Parker of Sarah Parker Fitness, and this is a little Pilates flow for you. I've done it so that it's okay for pregnancy and postnatal as well as general population. So I'm just doing a very small snippet, so there's no standing work, it's all on the floor, and we're not going on our backs at all. I am doing side leg work. For some of you, if you've got pelvic girdle pain, it might not be for you. Some people can do it without it hurting, but for others you'll miss that bit out. I'm doing a little bit of arm work first, so you stay with the arms instead of the legs. Okay, so, you might need a pillow as well, especially if you've got pelvic girdle pain, because that can give you some support through the knees. We're going to start in this seated position, but we're taking it into mermaid stretch. So if it's not comfortable with the positioning, then you come back to either bent legs, or you can take your legs out in front. If you're pregnant, it might be useful to have something under your bum, so you just lift it up that little bit higher. So we're going into mermaid position. Now ideally both hips are on the floor, so what tends to happen is you lean into this front leg. So as much as possible, bring your body weight back so that you're even through both, and you could have that pillow or a block underneath your knee here to keep it lifted and supported. So again, if that's not comfortable, staggered leg position is another way to do it, or as I say, legs out in front of you, especially if you're getting pelvic girdle pain, legs in parallel out in front of you. So it's just going into a side stretch, so taking the arm up and over, nice and relaxed through the neck, and then taking it over to the other side. So you're reaching through the ribs away from the hips. So if in pregnancy you're getting tight through the ribs, then this is quite a nice one for you. Most other people, this is good for your backs because of tightness through that midsection. So you can add to this a little bit more by pulling up on the ankle, on that back ankle, so you get a little bit of resistance there. And then you can drop down a little bit further into this elbow. So your range of movement, try and feel that the arm is just adding a little bit of weight to the stretch. So it's not about the arms. You want to feel that it's that pull of your ribs away from your hips, keeping the bum level. Good, let's just do one more here. Lovely, and last one, reaching it over. Good, and draw it back to center. From there, then coming down onto our sides. So we're going to just work on this waist. So shoulders and elbows in alignment. Hand can be palm up or palm down or in, whichever feels better on the shoulder. What I don't want you to feel here is that you sink into the shoulder, and also that you don't really push with the elbow. So it's a nice relaxed position, and the work is in the waist. So the waist is pulling up and then relaxing to normal position. So you're just getting that little connection through on a breath out, breathe into lower. Pelvic girdle, have a pillow between your knees here, and you can just stay with this. Those of you who are early postnatal or got any diastasis, stay with this, and pregnancy, stay with this. If you want to progress it, you could take that more into a lift, but you want to feel that you get that lift up through the waist first and then through the hips. You can add to that as well by letting the arm come up, so you're taking a little bit more weight up with you. Again, watch that shoulder, watch the neck as well. If you're feeling any tension in your neck, you can turn your head down towards the floor. We've got it all going on today. Good, so anyway you turn the neck down, we'll give you a little bit of rest through that neck. Let's just go one more then. Lovely, and relax it down. So I'm going to go into front, back. So for those who want to do a more advanced position, stay lifted. Otherwise, you come down to the floor. We're going to extend the leg through, and you're just going to make sure your hips are level, bottom knee bent as far forward as you need to keep you supported. Flex the foot to kick it forwards, and then press it back as far as you can to open up that hip, but without your back moving. So the back stays still, breathing in to kick forwards, breathing out to press back, trying not to move through the stomach. So you're not pushing forwards, you're not arching back, you're keeping that nice and level the whole time. So kicking forwards on the breath out, breath out, pushing back. Try and get that flexing point if you can. So you're getting that nice movement into the legs. You get a little bit more stretch to the calf and the hamstring, just a little passive one there, and then getting that stretch into the hip. And you want to feel the work in the bum, again without it arching your spine. Last couple then. Lovely. And then bring it back to that parallel position, so ankles in line with your hips. Those of you stayed lifted, come on down to the floor, and you're just going to breathe out, flex the foot, push it down. So breathe in, lift and lengthen, feel that it's stretching away from you. Breathe out, flex down. So this is one again, that pelvic girdle pain. You might find that this gives you a little bit more of a frisson as it comes in. So either just keep it a smaller range of movement and see how you go with that, or just rest that out and we'll go into arms instead. So you're going to reach the arm long and then flex, bring that down, get that overhead stretch, and again reach the leg long and then level it down. Good. There's a parakeets flying over my house. Good. And again breathing out to lift and lengthen, flex and press down. Feel that you're stretching the arm and the leg away from each other, so you're not just dropping down to the floor. You want to feel that you're really stretching through. If you want to advance that stretch, you could have this bottom arm extended, so you're getting a little, oops, lost it there. So you're getting a little bit more stretch. So you're breathing out. Good. So reaching away, lovely. Last one. And relax. Head supported by your hands, knees forwards, heels and hips in line. So again, knees as far forward as you need to keep that back nice and straight. Make sure it's not pulling back and arching. You could have those feet further forwards as well. I'm going to go into a little chest stretch. So arm out in front of you, drawing that arm in an arc behind you, through your shoulder, through your chest, and again, so lifting it round. We're not doing a full circle, just go to your range of movement. Your head wants to be supported by your hands, so you're not straining through the neck. Make sure you're fully relaxed down. Head could be on a block instead with your arms out in front of you if that's more comfortable. Otherwise, make sure it's fully supported. Lovely. And what you're trying to avoid is rolling back through the hips as you do this. So hips stay stacked the whole time, and as you pull back, you could, if you had the pillow between, just squeeze gently so that you're staying stable through. And if that creates any pain, then you don't do it. Lovely. Last one. Good. And coming back to center. From there then, we're coming up onto all fours, and to keep that pelvic girdle strong, you're going to keep the knees stacked and turn onto all fours, moving with your hips, not your knees. From there, going into a rotation and an arm opening. So hand to your head, you're going to bring your elbow down towards your opposite hand, lift it up, and then draw the hand forward, staying stable, and then come down to center. So arms up, elbow to the floor, elbow to the ceiling, I was going to say, the sky here. Extend the arm forwards, and again. Lifting it up and reaching forwards. So fine for pregnancy, that, and postnatal. If you want to progress it, we'll add in an extension of the opposite leg. So elbow to the floor, arm up. As you extend the arms and the legs away from each other. And again, lifting up, drop down, open up through, and then extend. Good. Let's go a couple more. Keep your shoulders balanced, keep the back of your head lifted, and make sure you don't drop through the back as you do that extension, so your ribs to hips stay level. That's helpful. Gentle push. Good. Lovely. One more to each side. Back into neutral. Don't think I did the link to the ceiling there, but there we go. Last time. Keep those hips level. Good. And extend through. Lovely. From there, we're going to go into rocking. So keeping the back of the head lifted again. You're just going to rock your hips back as far as you can without it pulling away from the floor. Without your bum tucking under. Trying to make sure you can sit. Okay, so you push back, shoulders are down, back is straight. So what you're not doing is going into a cat stretch. So the bum stays sticking out. Pressing back nice and easy. And those of you who not pregnant, and if you are okay with diastasis postnatally, and stronger, this could be in a hovered position. So knees just off the floor, drawing the hips back, and then drawing forward. So not going into a plank position, just coming into shoulders and hands in a line. A couple more like that. And then rest down. Lovely. From there, we're coming round and going on to the other side. So turning yourself around safely, starting lifted again. So in that mermaid position, if you can, if that's not comfortable, staggered, and if that's no good either, legs out in front of you, either bent or straight or crossed. So try and keep those hips nice and balanced. Pillow or block underneath that knee if you need to make sure you're not hinging over. And we're just taking it into that nice easy side bend. Breathing out to come up and reaching over. Good. And again, so feel that you're stretching the arm away from the hip, and feel that you're letting that create space between your ribs and your hips. Good. So remembering to take that further if you want to by dropping through the elbow and by pulling up against that ankle, so you're getting a little bit more resistance there. Good. And again. Lovely. Remember, the head stays in line, shoulders stay down. So if you're pulling, don't let your shoulder come up. Head's in line, so you're not dropping, you're keeping that head balanced over the rest of your spine. Let's do the last one. Good. And draw it down. So knees stacked, knees forwards, heels and hips in line, so your back is nice and straight, and then coming down onto your elbow. So again, palm up, sideways or down, whichever feels better for your shoulder. And then make sure that elbow and shoulder are in alignment, so you're not kind of sinking away from it or pushing over. So they're right in alignment, and then your hips are stacked. You then want to work on just getting yourself nice and lifted, so you're not sinking down into it. You want to breathe out, just draw up and breathe into lower. Make sure this is not a movement by pushing down with your elbow. Your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Good. Neck is long, keeping it in alignment. If you need to, you turn the head down so that you're not putting any strain on this. You don't want to feel that you're gripping with the neck. Let it just relax. So really just moving through with those hips. So for those of you who want to advance it, remember you can add in that lift of the hips off the floor. So breathing out, lifting directly up, trying not to rock forwards, but coming directly up off the floor, breathing into lower. And again, you could add in that arm as well if you wanted to. Lovely. I hope you're doing it outside as well. It's so nice out here. Good, last one. And relax it down. Good. So going into front, back, if you did it lifted before, stay here. Remember, you want to keep that body lifted the whole time. Breathing in to kick forwards, breathing out to press back, and making sure that you're staying level all the way through, so you're not rocking back and then reaching forwards. It's usually that movement that people go into. And instead, you can lie down fully to do that. So breathing in, I don't know whether my head's still in the shot, I hope it is. Breathing in to come forwards, breathing out to press back, trying to get as much movement with the leg as you can without the body moving. So no arching spine, no tucking under, keeping that still, hips stacked up. Remember that bottom knee can be as far forward as you need to, so that you're nice and relaxed. So you don't want to have it pulled back if it's making you arch your back or you feel not as stable. Lovely. And last one. Good. And then bring that leg, I realised I was dipped up back then, bring that leg level with your hip. So hip stacked up on top of each other, leg extending away. From there you're going to flex it and press down to the floor. So again, remember, if you've got pelvic girdle pain, this one might not be for you. So just see how you feel You want to only go part way. If you come all the way down, that's going to possibly be more sore. So breathe in, lift, lengthen, feel that you're stretching, breathe out, flex and press down. And again, you could just, instead of doing this, do the arm movement. So we're going to reach the arm away as the leg reaches and then bring it back down. And again, breathing in to lengthen. I think I did differently last time. Reach and then breathe out, press down. I did. Reach it over, breathe out, press down. Sorry. So reach it down and then lower down, and then if you want to, other arm extended, breathing out, lift and lengthen, breathe in, stretch it away. Good. And that's the last one. And then draw in. Good. From there, head fully supported, arm out in front of you. Shoulders are stacked up, hips are stacked up, knees in front, heels and hips in line. Again, if you need to, feet a little bit further forwards. If you need to, pillow between the knees. Keep these hips stacked, try not to roll back. Arm in front of you, reach it up and around, opening up through and drawing it back. Good. And again, so reaching it up through. Good, and drawing it back. Lovely. So allow your head to roll to watch that arm movement. So you're not static through the upper body. You want to feel that you're getting that stretch through into your chest, into your shoulder, and you're allowing the upper body to roll, but you're not letting the lower body roll. So nice and stable through those hips. This is one of my favourite stretches. I love it. And again, head's relaxed, make sure you're not lifted up. So fully supported in your hand or on a pillow. Lovely, and draw it back to centre. Good. So from there, pushing yourself up, knees stacked, move with your hips, not with your knees. I'm covered in grass now. So hands underneath your shoulders again, knees underneath your hips. This time, we're going to go into cat stretch. So taking your tailbone underneath, curling up, head relaxed down. And then take the tailbone up, allow that back to lengthen through. Think of lifting the back of the head, so it's not the chin. I want you to feel that you're pushing the back of the head up, and then you get that little bit of chest stretch. So tuck the tailbone under, and then again, back up, shoulders down, back of the head lifted, so you feel that through the chest extension, but you're not letting your back massively sink. Good. So take that a little bit further and into moving cat. Sit back through the hips, draw it back up to centre and back into neutral. Back of the head lifted, and again tuck the tailbone under, draw back. I think moving cat's a good one for today. I'm hoping she's not suddenly going to bring something out in her mouth. Good. Okay, this is the next one then. Take the hand across to the other one. So you're going to go into a stretch through the side. So you can have the hand on top, or you can have it slightly in front. Further away, more intense the stretch, to see how you feel. So tuck that tailbone under, arch all the way up, move back. Feel your hips pulling away from your hands, so you get that stretch through your side, through your hips maybe, through your arms. And then drawing back up to centre. Take it over, cross over. So tuck and under, move back as far as you feel comfortable. And again, drawing it back up and over. So if you are further on in pregnancy, then you could take your knees wider as long as you haven't got any pelvic girdle pain, just to give you that movement. Otherwise, you could put a pillow behind your legs so that when you come down, you can rest through the bum onto it. And still get that stretch through without coming down all the way. Let's go again. Lovely. Okay, just one more, because I like it. Good, and last one, and that makes this even. And then just a little side sway, so you're not jarring your hips, you just want to feel that movement of your hips. So hands underneath your shoulders again, and just allow your hips to sway through. So this is a nice bit of mobility for everybody, but this is particularly nice in pregnancy. You can do this resting on a birthing ball if you have one. So it's just a nice way to ease out the back. So for those of you who aren't pregnant, you can take that further, or even if you feel comfortable in pregnancy doing it, you can turn your head as you turn your hips, so you feel a little bit more of a stretch into the opening side, so the opposite side. Try not to really sort of crunch into that way, so you're looking for the length rather than that crunch. And then again, this is probably it's okay for pregnancy, but if you've got pelvic girdle pain, this might not be okay. So you're going to rotate the leg as you turn your head and as you sway the hips. So you've got 3 movements going on there. Just working into that hip, mobilising it. Lovely. And last. Okay, and from there, walk your hands in towards your knees, curl yourself up into high kneeling. Just do our last couple of exercises. So arms reaching out in front, adding in some rotation. So you're going to go into bow and arrow, breathe out to pull, breathe in, draw it back to centre. You want to have your shoulders relaxed down, so drop that elbow enough that your shoulders can stay relaxed. Breathing in to draw back. So breathe out, pull back, breathing in. And again. So hips are staying open at the front. So I want you to make sure that you've got that little squeeze on the bum so the hips are open. You're not sat down into it. Really open up. So this is lovely to help you get those hips open and to get a little bit of strength into the bum. And it's usually fine for everybody, unless you've got dodgy knees. Good, last one. Draw it back to centre, hands down by your sides, thumbs into your thighs, and just rotate those arms back and then draw back to centre. So as you rotate the arms, what you want to feel is a little passive stretch across the ribs, so across your chest. So you don't want to pop the ribs out, keep ribs to hips level, breathe out, rotate, arms are lengthening down. Just realise you can have your feet flexed or flat, so whichever is more comfortable for you. Okay, and then we'll add in the chest extension. So open up through the chest, push back with your little fingers, and then lift the chest to the ceiling or the sky. Head moves with it, and then draw back. What you're not doing there is leaning back, so you shouldn't feel anything in your lower back. It's a nice little rotation, push back, lift the chest, breathing out, and breathing in back to centre. And again, breathe out, rotate, press back through the little fingers. So you want to feel open through the chest. You want to feel a little bit of work going on at the tops of the triceps. And again, you're not pushing through the stomach or arching through the back. Bum is switched on, hips are open. Lovely, let's do one more. And relax. Good, give me a deep breath in. And breathe it out. And again, breathe it in. And breathe it out. You are done. Good job, well done.